All right. Hey guys, what is happening? Lisa Marshall here, and I'm doing a live session on creating alternate mixes for sync licensing. Uh, Recently gotten into this world, and I'm just kind of getting my stuff prepared, and I'll be taking you on this journey as I go along as well. And what I'm doing today is I'm taking an unmixed song. So the song was mixed uh some time ago, and uh in a studio. Okay, so I've got the stems here that I've just pulled into Logic. And really what I've done is, and I want to show you this too, because I'm giving this spreadsheet away for free. It'll show you all the different mixes that you can create, these 15-second cut down, 30-second cut down, vocal stem, lead vocal only, strings, keys, guitar. I mean, you're basically creating 17 plus opportunities for one song to be synced. Kind of cool. So that's what we're doing today. And I just thought I'd hop on and show you and do this live with you. And the download is in the link below if you want it. So go ahead and grab that. It's a free, absolutely free, no email required, nothing. I just want you to have the PDF in case this is something that you're doing. And hopefully this helps. You're going to see a couple of my songs on there already, just so you can kind of see how I'm doing it. I also am changing the frequencies of my songs as well, and that'll be another video. But yes, that means I'm going to have to take these stems and then run it back through Logic and change up the frequencies. And I'll show you that as well. I'll be on here to do that as well. Okay, so here's the project. This song is called I Give Myself Away. Like I said, this was mixed and mastered in a studio. So I already have the mixed entire song. I've already got the instrumental version of this song. What I'm focusing on today is getting these various stems here, like well, that's going to be interesting. Like a stripped down mix, a no melody mix, acoustic drum and bass mix, drum stem, bass stem, guitar stem, that kind of stuff. So this is basically what I've done. I've got this set up already like I'm going to mix it. So in other words, I've got the harmony bus going here, everything running into a mix bus. And then from the mix bus, I sent out to a reverb here. And I just used Chroma because, to be honest with you, I really love the options it has for the various rooms. So you see here, I just picked Studio A. Sounds great. I like it. I don't think you want to get too crazy with your stems because, I think they're going to probably affect it and do what they need to do with it in order to use it for their project. At least that's how I understand it. We'll see as we go along. I will definitely keep you updated. Now, I went ahead and I stuck this mastering, Logic's mastering assistant on here. Freaking love this thing, man. What a game changer. Super easy. It analyzes the track for you. It makes the adjustments for you. You can adjust the width here, which I'm going to be doing on the stems just to give it a little more, I don't know, something. And I'm actually going to stick this add limiter over here because what we want to do is we want to keep things on this add limiter between -3 and -9. So -9 and -3. In between there, that's what you want your stems to be for sync licensing. Okay, so what I've got here is I've got the drum and bass stems pulled up. Now, unfortunately, I cannot find all the stems, for the drums. So what I've got is a mixed down version of the drums, which sounds great, except you can hear my scratch vocal on it. I've already tried to use a noise gate on this, but this is just the best it's going to be. So I'm moving on with this. Here's what it sounds like. You can also hear my guitar. So I should also preface this with the loudest part of your song should be hitting between -9 and -3. And just to make that point, let's go over there real quick so I can show you. So you can see it's hitting around -6, which is good. So I'm happy with that. And so now what I've done is on this cycle bar is just made the track start kind of soonish, so there's not too much a wait. I could probably even make that even shorter. You know what I mean? Because this song starts off with a pickup, the vocal pickup. I'll give it just a little. And the only thing I've done I literally just put an EQ on here, and I'm going to change that to the Pultec because I just freaking love it. The UAD Pultec EQ P1A, man. It's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful, it adds such beautiful color. And I just have the bass and the drums straight up. I put this EQ on the bass, and my trick for some nice fat 60s, 70s sounding bass is Jamerson bass. Who do you think that is? Oh, why, I do believe it's James Jamerson of the Funk Brothers. As a matter of fact, we could probably like a little bit there. It just opens it up a little bit. And I just want to make sure on this. Okay, good. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to bounce this. Now, we're doing this project or section. Now, from what my research I have discovered is that on Hey, if you're just joining, welcome. We are talking about creating alternate versions of your song. You can create up to like 17 different versions for sync licensing opportunities. And since it sounds a little bit like sync licensing is a little bit like throwing spaghetti noodles up against the wall to see what sticks, nothing wrong with just giving yourself as many opportunities as possible. And so, what I've discovered also is that they prefer your bit to be 24 and the sample rate to be 48. We're also doing this as an AIF file because I'm not positive about this, but I believe what you're going to want to do is to make sure you have the metadata in all of these tracks. It is a lot, I know, but I think, from what I can tell from all the people that I just want to get this from the top that I've been following, and some very reputable people, I believe, is that metadata is everything. You just want to make sure it's in there because you want to make sure they know who to pay, they know, which PRO to go through, they know where to submit those cue sheets. So, all right, so here is our first. We're going to start with the bass and drum stem right here. And I give myself away. And you know what? The other thing too is I want to create really quick. I'm going to create a file on my desktop so it goes right into that and I don't have to go finding them all over my desktop. So let me just create that real quick. All right, fantasticals. All right, let's do that. So back to bounce project or section. Again, we're going to change that sample rate to 48. Oh, and the reason why you want to do AIF files, especially if you're using a Mac, is one, Waves does not keep metadata. An AIF or MP3 do. If you start with an AIF file into your Apple Music and put all the metadata in that first and the artwork, and then you convert it to an MP3, it'll transfer all over to that file as well. It's another trick I've learned. All right. So let's get this going. I'm going to put bass and drums, stem, bink. And we're going to put that right into the folder I just created. Where are you? There you go. Bam. Bada boom, bada bing. And since we're here, we'll just go ahead and then we'll just solo out the bass. And then we'll solo out the drums. And I think I have this on real time. Sorry about that. We'll just wait a minute. So if you're new to my channel, my name is Lisa Marshall. I am an over 50 lady. I've been doing music since I was 21 years old. I started on the East Coast, moved to the West Coast when I was 21, and have bounced around all over the country. The last place I lived was Austin, and now I'm back on the East Coast. And this is my new adventure into music. I am embracing the new world, even though I came up at a time where it was so romanticized to be like this touring band and get a record deal and all that good stuff. It took me a minute to switch my mentality over to this. And the reason I am even saying that is because if you are an older person, especially an older lady who feels like maybe you don't have a place in the music industry, I'm going to respectfully disagree with you. And so I want to share what I'm learning, because you can learn this stuff. I will admit I am a total dork when it comes to mixing and plugins and Logic, and I absolutely love creating. It is like recording is my happy frickin' place. I have to say, even more so than performing, which it used to be the other way around. Both of them take a lot of energy. Performing takes a lot of physical and mental energy, I will say, where recording or mixing takes a lot of mental energy. But I'm just saying, you can reinvent yourself and you can learn this stuff. And, most of these plugins come in with presets. And to be quite honest with you, I start there because, the people who created these plugins are the people who have been shaping sound and doing this for a really long time. And I figure, why not? Why not try that first and see, if that's giving you the sound that you want. And of course, always using reference tracks, right? Okay, so we got the drums. Let's check out this bass real quick. I just want to see how it's going to look on this limiter. Okay, that's great. Again, I've just got a little send off the mix bus into a room reverb called Studio A, and it sounds freaking great if you ask me. Just that little bit of reverb. Okay. So let's get this bass stem bounced on down. Come on down. And we're doing this 48 sample rate. Okay, now we're just doing bass stem. Ta-da! I think you kind of get the gist of this. I promise you, after this, we're just getting the rhythm check out of the way. It's going to get more exciting because I've got playing piano on this track is a it's just a really good piano track, okay? And we're going to get to the strings, which is my favorite thing. And also, we're going to talk a little bit about stereo panning versus what I've got going on right here, because this is an old file. And you want to do stereo panning because it pans the entire signal of that particular instrument instead of just basically giving you the one side. That makes sense? Trying to see if anybody's in the chat. If you're in the chat, say hey. Once again, I got a free, absolutely free PDF for you down in the description below. No email required, nothing. I just want you to have this so you have kind of a a guide as you do this. My girl just texted me that she just saw Deliverance for the first time. That's awesome. I promise I will make this more speedy. This is crazy. This is just silly. All right. Nice, nice, nice. We've got the bass. Oh, and I should be marking this on my sheet, shouldn't I? Okay, we got the bass stem done. I like to put the dates on here so in case I forget, there's a lot of balls up in the air, kind of, so to speak. All right, drums. Let's just check it right here just to make sure. And that on drums is Mr. Johnny Radalat. And he played with Gary Clark Jr. for a while. And then I just saw that he was touring with the band live. That guy, man, he just goes. Cool guy. One of the nicest guys. Incredible drummer that I've got to play with. Let's see if that changes things. All right, drum stem. Nope. I'm not sure why this is moving so slow. I gotta tell you, look, I know there's, so many different ways you can do this in Logic, and I have processes written down in all kinds of Google Drive documents. And I know there's probably an easy fix to make this go faster. But I can't think of it right now, and I'm not upset about it because I have a lot in my brain all the time. So don't be mad. All right, so basically you see I'm checking that add limiter every time just to make sure that we're hitting between that -3 and -9 space. And yeah, probably what's taking so long is that this was all recorded in 44-bit, and my research tells me that sync license, they like 48. So there's that. And I've already done 2 songs. Yeah, this didn't help at all. Sorry about that, you guys. You can see on this, this is a very, like I said, this is an old file. And I've got all kinds of craziness going on in here, as you can see, with plugins and sends and just, in my newbie stage of things. But it's okay. I kind of know what's going on. It's going to be pretty easy to clean up now that I've spent some time on Logic. And I don't know about you, but the kind of person that I like to do things repetitiously. That's just what helps me. So, like, for instance, I've spent this entire weekend doing nothing but preparing all the stems for these songs. I mean, there are probably other things I need to be doing as well. But for me, once I get into the groove of something, that's just how my brain works. I like to just keep going. It's repetition. It helps me. All right, so we just got the drum stem going here. So again, if you're just joining, let me show you what you're going to, what this free PDF is. It's basically giving you all of the different stems here that you can create from one song. And you can see I've got, I've done a couple of the songs already. And actually, so Many Blessings was a song that I released a couple years ago. But it's a great little holiday tune. And I kind of started remixing it. So you have to be careful there too. All right, moving along. So we've got next up, we're just going to kind of keep going over here on these stems. I'll come back to the acoustic and the stripped down mix. That should be pretty easy to do, I would say. And I'm kind of just using, I guess, I'm trying to think like a sync person or a music supervisor. Like, for instance, the guitar stem. Okay, there's a rhythm guitar and there's a lead guitar on this track. I'm going to probably slightly pan them off just a little bit from each other, just so they both have a little bit of room, but nothing too extreme. Like, in other words, like you'll see, I've got all of the strings, for instance, are probably all panned to the left. I'll probably just move them all a little bit away from each other, the strings and the cello kind of stuff. So I'm trying to be as intuitive as I can here with this stuff. And, I probably won't know until I start hearing from them like, oh, well, we need this or we need that. And that's okay. I'm just trying to be a little ahead of the game, I guess, as it were. Okay, so now we're doing... The final mix is done, of course, on that. Okay, guitar stem. So... I can play, man. I'm going to see about grabbing a different amp on this real quick. in the... Hear the difference when you do that stereo pan? Signal comes all the way through. He's a master at that, man. Let's see what we're gonna do on this too. All right, we're just gonna move this guy, this girl. I'm all right with that. There we go. Ah. I like it. I'm going with that. I think the trick is trying not to overthink it too much. In the beginning, I was like, oh, so like about it. But it's a little bit like throwing spaghetti at the wall. Like, hey, Ian, what's happening? Thanks for hanging out. It is a little bit like throwing spaghetti against the wall. So, yes, I am trying to put my best foot forward, but I'm also not trying to get too twisted up in it. You know what I'm saying? So, let's just check this one more time. Make sure we got this hitting. Yeah, he had a really lovely tone that day. I can't say the same for mine. Let's see what we got here. 4. Like I said, I love the presets. So check this out. I am using Universal Audio, the Pultec EQ P1A, one of the best EQs in my opinion. And let's see. Let's try this guitar. Let's just go back to the reset. There you go. That's what I just needed to warm it up. There we go. That's all I needed. Just a little warmth. All right, let's go ahead and bounce this as our guitar stem. It's me counting into the band. Okay, I'm pretty good with that. All right, I just wanted to make sure that wasn't hitting over minus 3 dB on the ad limiter. So let's actually pick. I know I probably not necessary to bring it all the way back to the beginning, but sometimes Logic does some weird stuff, in my opinion. I mean, good stuff, but every once in a while, and it probably is my computer, able to handle it or not. All right, guitars. This is the most time-consuming part right here. Hey guys, welcome. And if you are just joining, this is basically a track in Logic that I pulled in stems from a track that was mixed at a studio. And this is completely unmixed. But what we're focusing on right now are the stems, the alternate versions for this song, so I can submit, or when I'm talking to sync agents and libraries, I basically will have about 17 options, or you're basically multiplying your chances of getting something synced by a lot, by 17, right? Or 16. So I'm showing you that, even on an unmixed track, unmastered track, it's quite easy to grab your stems from it. And I'm including this spreadsheet right here for free in the link below. It's a free PDF. You can adjust it any way you want it. But this is a class that I took probably this summer or in the spring, and got all this information. And this was the suggestion on the alternate stems that you should create. And eventually I will upload all this into Disco, and I will do another tutorial on that. I'm basically just going to keep coming on here and showing you this this whole process and other things as well as I'm learning them, like for Logic and such. And really I'm an over 50 lady. I've been doing this for a very long time. I've performed live most of my life, everywhere from LA to Austin. I toured, did all that stuff. And I just feel like sync licensing is an opportunity to really build a foundation, and a lucrative foundation at that, especially, as we get older. And I'm not saying that I'm not performing live ever again. I definitely plan on doing that. I'm just focusing on building a little bit of a foundation first. And, I don't have a band and all that good stuff. But so if you're just joining, basically what I did is I grabbed the Mastering Logic Pro plugin right here, and as soon as you pull up a project in Logic now, if you go out to your output 1 and 2, or your stereo output master, it'll be just sitting there. You'll see it. It's not activated. As soon as you click on it, it basically analyzes your track, and I think it's one of the coolest friggin' things ever. I was watching an engineer, Andrew Sheps, not too long ago, who talked about actually mixing your song into the mix bus. And I think that's ingenious. And then once you throw this master on here, I mean, it's just anymore, you can't go wrong. So all I did was from my mix bus, I have a send out here to actually Logic's Chroma reverb has got the greatest for room reverbs. And I'm just basically kind of taking these tracks and I'm throwing it into the room reverb. Now I'll probably add like delay and extra stuff for the vocals, but as far as the instruments are concerned, I mean, it's like being in the studio. It's pretty cool. So just doing minimal stuff. I know you see a lot of this bus sends and stuff here. This, like I said, this is an old file. So this is back in the day where I really didn't know what the hell I was doing, and I just threw all kinds of crazy stuff on there in hopes that it would work. All right, so now we are coming up to the keys. Here's the thing. What I realize is that this is also the track that I used. I went to various people's houses and recorded them. And the piano was played by Nick Donnelly. And Nick Donnelly was the piano player for... I just had his name. Just completely left me. We'll have to come back to that. Anyway, super nice guy, fantastic piano player. However, you're going to see here, these are all the various takes that he did. And let's play through it. Let's see what happens. Maybe it is... Maybe I did edit these. I don't think I did, actually. All right. So we'll have to come back to this. However, we do have... the electric piano, the Whirly. This was played by my friend Nate Basinger, who is a fantastic... He plays B3. He and I used to do a duo up in Pflugerville, which is north of Austin. And he would play bass on his left hand. It was kind of a thing in Austin. There were a lot of people who would play B3, would play bass on their left hand and play, organ parts on the top. Fantastic. And we did that gig for a very long time. Very long time until the place was no more. And my friend Brian Gano, rest in peace, was a fantastic soul. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, yeah. You can hear his headphones. We must have been playing that shit loud. Oh. Let's see what... I don't think we need any... Let's see what our Pultec is going to do. I told you I love this thing, man. That's amazing. I'm trying this gate to see if I can get, I don't know if you can hear it, but I can hear my vocals in the back. Oh, now I can totally hear it. All right, and I'm just checking this add limiter to make sure we're sticking right in the lovely middle. Now, that gate's not going to work at all. So I think what I'm going to do here real quick is I'm going to run it through. That's interesting. Why does that say stereo and this says all mono? Because it is mono. I'm going to run it through the Reddit 17, which is essentially I believe it's like the Abbey Road. Yeah, Abbey Road Studios right here. It's a base. So basically it's like I'm running this through an Abbey Road's channel of the mix console, if that makes sense. And I think I'm going to also go ahead and get some tape on this, even though just giving it a little something, you know, little tastiness. Yeah. Okay. We're going to go ahead and we're going to put this down. No, we're not. We're going to see here too what we got. Yeah. My option click this right over. Oh yeah. So once again, I'm trying to think like, so for instance, on this song, that whirly was so sporadic that there was really nothing holding it together. And so I'm trying to think of like, okay, you know, what if it is some kind of scene? And even if this is just sitting underneath that scene the whole time, like, I think that B3 pulls it all together. So I'm putting the B3 on there. It just needs it. mean, now it's creating something in my mind. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's creating like a feeling, like I can see this sitting somewhere on a scene, you know? Maybe it's a hot day near a bayou or something like that. All right, we might need a little compression on that. God, that's amazing. I love that. Wow. I haven't heard this in a very long time. We're going to use this DBX. We're going to put this up. This, and we're going to get rid of this compressor. Put you up here. Then through this, and then through the tape. Woo, I feel like I'm going to church. Damn. That's beautiful. Wow, man. All right. Also, I'm going to take this DBX, put this over here too. I know it's got a whirly over here somewhere. Does not. Okay. Oh, wow. Catfish nuggets. That sounds amazing. I'm getting kind of hungry myself. Let's see what else we're going to use. See, like I said, I like to use the presets a lot because I mean, they're designed by people that they specifically have gone to because they're like, we love what you do. Let's see what this guy has to offer. Nope. Oh, but that's nice. My cat just scared the hell out of me. Let's see, I think. Let's attenuate that a little bit. See what's yeah, I like it. We're gonna leave it right there. Okay, good enough. Good enough for rock and roll. It's the other thing I'm learning too, like to remember when you're doing this, you're an artist, man. This, you know, yeah, there are some things to know. Like I've some of these plugins that I've used am using, I use all the time. So I'm getting more familiar with them every time. And I just am, after mixing a few times, and yeah, there is always something to be said about practice, right? And getting comfortable with that. So, but also, like, what I'm learning is to allow your artistry to come through as well. You know, like all this stuff that I just put on both of these things are just things that I use all the time, and I kind of understand them and know them. And I just wanted to warm things up a little bit on this and give it just a little bit of a, a little shaping. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, we're gonna print that. Yeah. And I wonder if there's a Hey, thanks for the subscribe, man. Song site. If you're still here, thank you. Sit down a melody mix. Okay, we're just going to keep going. So I love this for the electric piano. I might just make this a separate stem in addition. Like I said, I'm trying to think about. I love movies. I've always loved movies, and so I'm trying to kind of think about like, oh wow, would this create? Does this conjure a particular scene for me or something like that? So that's the other part of this as well. And I think sometimes I get a little too rigid, like gotta follow the rules, gotta do it exactly this way, but sometimes you gotta kind of follow your guts too and your artistry and have fun, man. Have fun. That's the biggest part. Have fun. Okay, we're gonna bounce this, and then I've got to probably go feed my cats and myself. I have no idea what. I wish you could send me some of those catfish nuggets, my friend, because that sounds delicious. We're going to call this electric piano B3 stem. Yes. Yeah, so I guess what I'm saying is that you can kind of take, if you have the stems to your song, but it's not mixed, you could probably start this way. I have to say, this has actually helped me with my mixing as well, doing this, as I would single out things and I would kind of, oh, wow, I would blend those things a little bit better. Like I said, I pretty much remixed an entire song the other day because I was like, oh, this, this needs to pan out, or this needs to have more depth or width or something like that. So, I don't know. I encourage you just to, kind of understand the rules as they say, and then just break them. That's what I say. So I hope this was helpful. I hope that the spreadsheet that I gave you, downloadable in this in the description below, is helpful. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I hope you will. And please comment if this was helpful. If you want to know other things, because I love learning, and it always pushes me to understand things better myself. And yeah, really, I just want to encourage you all to keep on. Don't, there's the music business, it feels to me is changing quite a bit, but I think that's a real positive thing, especially for us independent artists. And I think there's real opportunity here to kind of take back artistry. It seems that music, especially when media got deregulated in the 80s, or was that the 90s? I think that was late 80s, 90s. Anyway, I feel like it really became this formulaic thing once, people started to understand that, oh, there's money to be made here. And I think sometimes you can easily get caught up in that, caught up with, let me backtrack. I love soul music. I absolutely love soul music. To me, there is no better arrangement than a soul song. Feel, rhythm, singers. Holy shit, I think it's the entire full package is absolutely amazing. And so am I always comparing and using reference tracks from that era? Absolutely. I'm hoping I'm moving toward writing authentically from myself, but in that medium. And there is something to be said about, I guess kind of a formula of I'm going to like get myself into a hole. I'm just saying basically things got really out of control, in my opinion, in the music industry. And I feel like we're kind of circling back where it's now coming back to artistry and interpretation. And I think there are it's more open to that instead of like, oh my God, this, so and so just wrote this song that, like, let's take grunge for instance. And everybody lost their minds, and all the record people went out and started finding other grunge players, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, or sounding music. I just feel like now it's kind of just being blown wide open. It's a little wild, but it's an exciting time. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, so we got these. I'm going to put, you see in here, I'm going to add row above, and I'm going to put that we've got the electric B3 stem done. I'll circle back once I can edit those piano parts together. But you see, we've got, already just in that time alone. So I've already got the final, I've already got the instrumental, and now I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got now 7 possibilities from this song to put into film and TV and possibly get, back end royalties. This is kind of exciting shit if you ask me. Now, these 15-second cut downs, I'm probably going to have to do a rough mix of this song in order to get that. Actually, that's a lie. I can actually go back to my finished mix, pull it into another Logic project, and cut it up that way. That's how we're going to do that. Yeah. And since we're just here for the strings now, I'm going to go ahead and do that as well. Where are my strings? Here you are. All right, so I know these are cellos. Tell you what, we're going to create. We're going to create a bus for them really quick. Give it a little space over here. It's there we go. Let's call this the cello bus. And then just to get it to go, I love this about Logic. It's so smart. You click on read and then click it again, click it off, and then click it back on. And look, it sticks it over here right next to my cellos. Fantastic. Also, I'm going to assign that a different color. What are my others? That's about the color. We're just going to make it a little darker since I didn't think that all the way through. And then we're going to make sure this goes also to the mix bus. And then I've got, these are all violins and violas, etc. I'm going to go ahead And the reason I'm doing this too is because I want them to all sound like, I want them to sound cohesive, right? And I'm just going to put violin, bus. And then we're going to boom, pow. There you go. Right next to the violins. I got to change this color too. Oh, that might have been better even for this. All right, and then make sure that's going to the mix bus as well. Because again, I've got that lovely room reverb happening on the mix bus. There you go. All right, so let's see what we got going on here. How soon do these come in? These may not come in right away. Did I tell you that I love arranging strings? I do. And this has got nothing on here, so we're going to get rid of these tracks. There's no need to keep those around. And I have to say, I love Logic strings. I mean, you can hear the bow going over the string. That's delicious, man. That's delicious. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and run this through the Revit channel. And just drag that over for both. Now, you can sometimes kind of take a look here. They've got like vintage bright strings. We could try something like that, but usually I just want to run it through. So what I'm probably going to do too is just put these back to 0 and use their bus to pan. I don't really need... So we'll do it this way. Remember, we're going to stereo pan because we want the full signal to go. Definitely going to need a compressor on that. Wow. All right. Well, let's stop there because I'm going to have to go in and do some automation on some of those really high violin tracks. But this is kind of my secret sauce. I put vocal writer, which you can see it's a... I don't know, in my head, it gives it a little more of a human feel because you can see kind of the slider being pushed and pulled, you know, according, also kind of like another compressor, I guess, to kind of maintain a level. But that's just what I think about it. We'll turn these on. This is usually what comes up with it. All right, I'm going to spend some more time on these strings because I can really hear that in a scene of some sort. So I really want to make sure these are really good. And I can tell that I need to do a little actual volume automation on some of these to get these kind of really tightened up and really sitting together a little bit better. So I'm going to work on this after dinner. I thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I hope this was helpful. And yeah, thanks for subscribing. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope that the PDF that I provided down on the bottom is helpful. And once again, please feel free to leave me any comments and anything I can do or kind of answer questions for you. I am happy to do it. Okay, I'm gonna stick this up here so I can hop off. All right, you guys, have a great night. Once again, Lisa Marshall, and I will see you soon.